release of Tenet, it's time to stop and rank all 11 Christopher Nolan movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Let's get into it. Guys, this is Joshua, aka Future Filmmaker 2940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, and music. And if you guys are new to the channel, first of all, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to know when newest videos are posted in such a premiere, as well as posted in my community tab. Otherwise, you might not get notifications to any videos, live streams, and community posts. Also, if you want to send money to my channel, or if you want to send fan mail, you can email me or DM me as well. And with that being said, we're going to rank all 11 Christopher Nolan's movies from the worst to the best. He is definitely one of my favorite filmmakers. He did bring Batman series back after Batman and Robin. This is going to be a pretty interesting ranking, so if you don't like the placement of this ranking, feel free in the comment section down below to share your ranking. So with that being said, we're going to go and get started. There are 11 movies in his filmography, and we're going to go ahead and talk about them.
Lost my ticket.
Your wife said you were taking a cab home.
My wife?
Don't worry, Master Wayne. Takes a little time to get back in the swing of things.
So, at the bottom of the list, at 11th place, is The Dark Knight Rises. Now, this is a movie that I still very much love. I still love The Dark Knight Rises a lot. Even back in 2012, I loved it. But I was a little disappointed by it in 2012. I did have a couple issues with some of the plot holes and the Talia al Ghul twist, and my biggest issue, of course, was what they did with Batman. But I still very much enjoyed the movie. You know, but the more I rewatch it and the more I think about this movie, while it is my least favorite Nolan film and my least favorite film in his Dark Knight trilogy, I still think the least favorite Chris Nolan movie is still great. Christian Bale once again gives it his all as Bruce Wayne in Batman. Anne Hathaway, I thought she was pretty awesome as Catwoman. I did like the story that they had to follow up with Batman coming back to save the day 8 years after the Dark Knight, and you can tell that those 8 years of lying, protecting Gotham and Harvey Dent is taking a toll on both Batman and Jim Gordon and everyone. And this movie does come with some pretty emotional moments, especially with Alfred resigning and saying that he doesn't want to bury Bruce, and especially when he says "I failed you" at the end. I think that is a great scene, but you cannot talk about this movie and not talk about Bane, because Tom Hardy is Bane. I thought this is his best villain role. I like him in Venom, but Bane this is his better role. Some people say his dialogue is difficult to understand, but it wasn't difficult for me personally. I understood what he was saying, and his lines in this movie were quotable, and the fight scenes were very well done, especially the end fight with all the Batman in the streets of Gotham. I do love the direction, and this has the most emotional weight to it. And also, the fight between Batman and Bane in the sewer.
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you. Birds of the League of Shadows.
And you betrayed us.
Ah, yes! I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?
The first fight where he breaks Batman's back straight out of the comics. As I said, I used to hate that part of the movie because you broke Batman's back. But over time, I've grown to that, and that's definitely one of my favorite moments in the Dark Knight trilogy. The reason why this is at number 11, though, is that the Talia al Ghul twist is still a little bit questionable, but it does make more sense. And I don't like the way Bane went out.
About the whole no guns thing, I'm not sure I feel as strongly about it as you do.
I do like when Catwoman saving him, though, but you could at least let Bane and Batman fight one more time. But this is still a great end to the Dark Knight trilogy.
Abracadabra.
No more secrets.
Secrets in my life.
In 10th place is The Prestige. This is one of Christopher Nolan's most underrated films. This movie, I like how it deals with magic and the conflict and rivalry between two friends that is trying to come out on top and who will be victorious as far as magicians go. And I like the idea, I like the ambition that Christopher Nolan puts into this film. I do like his writing and direction. The cast here, Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, Rebecca Hall, Michael Caine, Piper Perabo, and the late Andy Serkis and David Bowie, they all do great jobs. David Julian does a really great job with the music. This has some of the most gorgeous cinematography, and the movie keeps you guessing for the entire 2 hours and 10 minutes. There's never a moment where it feels boring. There's never a minute where it feels dull. And I will say, the reason why this is number 10 is that I do feel like they did throw a little bit of convenience as to what will happen at the end of the movie when you have what they really show at the beginning of the movie as far as the little bit of the ending goes. And I will say, I do feel like that Andy Serkis and Scarlett Johansson were a little bit underutilized here. But other than that, I think The Prestige is a very underrated Nolan film that needs more attention. And I really enjoy it.
That's it. I mean, if you've got any questions, then.
Why not two?
In 9th place is Christopher Nolan's first film, and that is Following. Now keep in mind that this is a $6 million film. This was designed to be as inexpensive as possible. It's a $6,000 budget, it's a low budget film, and it is a great start. It does show the promise of what he has as a filmmaker. And the acting is pretty great. The story is really good. I do love Christopher Nolan's writing and direction here. It's shot on black and white millimeter, and I like the whole black and white aspect to it. The thing that puts this at number 9, though, is that it is a little too short, but it is his first film, so this is kind of pretty much the student film, and some of the audio isn't the greatest, and some of the lighting isn't the greatest, but Following, this was still a great debut for one of the greatest filmmakers that we've ever had in this generation right now.
I know it because I told you.
Are you doing okay? I mean, you haven't been sleeping much, Detective Dormer.
Another night up like this and you're really gonna lose it.
Now the game has turned deadlier than he ever imagined.
This whole thing you're doing ain't gonna work with me.
Hold it!
There is she, Finch.
Coming in 8th place, we have Insomnia, which this is Nolan's most overlooked film. in his filmography, mainly because he's not writing it. This is based on the 1997 Norwegian film the same name. This tells the story of a cop who is basically sleepless and he has to play a game of cat and mouse with the villain played by Robin Williams. Great in the movie, by the way. Al Pacino is also really great, and Hilary Swank is also really great. I think that this is a very well-structured thriller. It does show that he could handle a big studio film like this. It does show that he has what it takes with it. And his cinematography and his direction is David Julian's music in this movie. All of that combined with the 3 performances from the leads as well as the rest of the cast does make this a pretty winner in my eyes. As I said, the only downfall is that he's not writing it, but I do still very much love Insomnia a lot.
Just think about your family. Now you have to think bigger than that.
I am thinking about my family and millions of other families.
Maybe we've spent too long trying to figure all this out with theory.
Love is the one thing that transcends time and space.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
All right, Enrique!
Yes, you are.
We'll find a way. We always have.
Coming in 7th place, we have Interstellar, which is Christopher Nolan's 2001 A Space Odyssey influenced space epic. And this is a really good film. I do love Interstellar. I saw this back on cable in 2015, and I enjoyed it for a lot. It had a lot of emotional punches to it. It had a really great story to it. I do like the scope and the ambitiousness and the whole vibe of the locations they go to in space. Matthew McConaughey having to leave Earth to save mankind as basically the Earth is dying. Also, the rest of the cast: Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, Mackenzie Ford, Michael Caine, Matt Damon, even Topher Grace. His direction and writing, this is a very ambitious film. It is a long movie, so it is 2 hours and 49 minutes, and this is one of his most divisive films, because some people say he just got way too out of hand with the over sentimental moments, but Interstellar, this is a great space film. It is definitely one of my favorite sci-fi. It does have a lot of emotional punches, and I did come close to tearing up watching this on first viewing, but Interstellar, this is his most underrated film that he has made, and this is a sci-fi masterpiece in my opinion. Definitely one of the best of 2014, for sure.
We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender. We shall never surrender. We shall never surrender.
Where's the bloody Air Force?
In 6th place, we have Dunkirk. This is another one of Christopher Nolan's most divisive movies. This is a World War II movie about the story of Dunkirk. In 2017, I loved it, and I still pretty much love it. Here, this is more of a technical aspect achievement, much like 1917 is. But in 1917, I cared about the characters more, which here, I didn't really get much out of the characterization for these characters, but I kind of understand that this is meant to be a technical aspect, because it is a technical marvel here. Nothing is CGI here. Everything, the ships, the battles, the explosions, everything is entirely in camera. Nolan, he's able to, the colors and the cinematography in this movie is brilliant. I do love the way this movie is shot and directed. And the acting, I think, is great. From Kenneth Branagh to Mark Rylance to Fionn Whitehead to Tom Hardy. Even Harry Styles was great here. So, Dunkirk, I think this is a great film. And I very much still like it. Now, before I get into my top 5, be sure in the comment section down below and tell me what is your ranking of the Christopher Nolan movies, from the least favorite to my favorite, or your favorites. All my social media links are in the description box down below if you want to follow all of them. And stick around for more videos, especially TV show reviews. I will be having the season 1 review of Mandalorian, as well as Stargirl, and also stick around for more reviews and music reactions coming. So, with that being said, let's get into my top 5 favorite Christopher Nolan movies.
I need Tenet. We need to save him here and now.
This reversing the flow of time wasn't us being here now. I mean, it never happened. You want to crash a plane,
but not from the air. No, it's so dramatic.
Well, how big a plane?
Some of the sound mixing and some of the music did distract some of the dialogue in most areas, and the villain character. But Tenet, this was still a good Christopher Nolan movie in his filmography, and it is a good movie to watch. So that's number 5.
I have no short-term memory. Since my injury, I can't make new memories. Everything fades. If we talk for too long, I'll forget how we started, and next time I see you, I'm not going to remember this conversation. I don't even know if I've mentioned it before. I've told you this before, haven't I?
At number 4, we have Christopher Nolan's Memento. This was released in the 2000s, and this stars Guy Pearce and Carrie Moss and Joe Pantoliano. And this movie, Memento, basically, is telling the story of the main character who is suffering from short-term memory loss, and he has to take pictures of using Polaroids, and has tattoos all over himself, basically to track down and stop his wife's killer. This is a very intriguing story, and the reason why I put this so high is because I do think this is a very rewatchable film. Some people don't think so, because it does. Some people say it does lose its impact on multiple rewatches, but for me, this movie still has a rewatchability factor. Guy Pearce, this is his best role. Joe Pantoliano is great. Carrie-Anne Moss is great. I think Christopher Nolan's direction and writing is great here. Great cinematography. I like the idea of the flashback scenes being in color, and then the present stuff. You have some scenes that are in color and some stuff in black and white in reverse. I do like the idea a bit, and this is based on a short story by his brother, Jonathan Nolan. Memento, this is one of the best movies of the 2000s, and it is worth a shot.
Something terrifying. Something that will not stop until it gets revenge.
To the top 3 for Christopher Nolan films ranking is in third place is Batman Begins. This was the movie that brought back the Batman series after Batman and Robin just killed it. 2005, nobody knew what this was gonna be, and surely enough, Batman Begins. This is the second best film in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. But this is just like Dark Knight Rises, it doesn't get the respect it deserves. This was a great origin story for Batman, because we know his origin, but we never got to see it in the original movies. Where here, this is his origin, his first year as Batman. How he got trained by the League of Shadows, how he dealt with the death of his parents. You see it all, and the structure in this movie is very well done. Christopher Nolan got the look and the feel of Gotham City down to a T. I think Christian Bale, he was the perfect choice for Bruce Wayne, Batman. Michael Caine, he is the best Alfred Pennyworth we've ever had. Liam Neeson as Henry Ducard was great. Ken Watanabe is great. I actually don't mind Katie Holmes in this movie, and I love Morgan Freeman here. And Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon, the best Jim Gordon we've ever had. The action scenes are not the greatest shot, but he did fix that with The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, but the action is still very fun. And I know a lot of people make fun of the Batman voice, but I love the Christian Bale Batman voice. Especially when you first see him.
I'm Batman. Nice coat.
Batman Begins, this is a great film. And this was definitely one of the best movies of 2005, and just a perfect origin story for Batman Beginnings. And it would lead into such an amazing trilogy.
Always imagine new places.
He's hiding something, and we need to find out what that is.
We gotta break out of here. Give him the kick! This was not a part of the plan! Wake me up! Wake me up!
Coming in second place is Christopher Nolan's Inception. This movie here, Inception, talk about taking $160 million and making a great film that still has film noir, has different genres, femme fatale in the case of Mary Cotillard, and this movie is basically talking about dreams and what you have and how you're able to do anything you want in dreams. And this movie is expository dialogue here too, but And just like Tenet, it's interesting dialogue. Leonardo DiCaprio is Dom Cobb. I liked. Tom Hardy is great. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, Marion Cotillard, Ken Watanabe. Of course, it wouldn't be a Nolan movie without Michael Caine. But a lot of the things in Inception that Chris Nolan is able to do, especially with Ellen Page's introduction, where the cafe and stuff, and there's a big explosion, then you have mirror doors, and then that whole one street going upside down, and then a train just stopping, just crashing into the city. All of that is very well done, and Chris Nolan, he just allowed his vision to just play out the way he intended. And also that fight scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt on top of the building, but the whole fight scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character and the one guy in Zero Gravity, that is awesome. How this movie did not get nominated for Best Picture or Best Director, I don't know. Same with my number one.
Then you're gonna love me. Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne. It's all part of the plan. Come on, hit me! Let's put a smile on that face.
And my number one favorite Christopher Nolan movie is gonna be The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, this was an event back in 2008, and when I saw Batman Begins the same year this came out, so I watched Batman Begins on cable before this came out. I didn't see The Dark Knight until I first got the DVD, the full screen edition. Then I had 2-disc edition. Then I do have the Blu-ray trilogy set on my wish list. But The Dark Knight, this is one of the best crime dramas ever, one of the best movies ever, and one of the best comic book movies ever. This set the standards for superhero movies nowadays. Without this, or the Avengers, you wouldn't have the Marvel Cinematic Universe or DC Cinematic Universe, any of that. So The Dark Knight, and this movie has become a victim of some other franchises going for the dark and gritty route, and it doesn't really work out. Looking at you, The Amazing Spider-Man. But The Dark Knight, this is a great film. I still very much love it 12 years later. I did a full-on watch-along for it. Christian Bale, he once again does a great job as Bruce Wayne. I said Bruce Lee. Michael Caine is Alfred, still great. Maggie Gyllenhaal, she's a great successor to Katie Holmes. Gary Oldman's great. Morgan Freeman's great. Aaron Eckhart, really underrated as Harvey Dent, as well as Harvey Two-Face. Two-Face did look great in this movie, and he was done justice in his little screen time he had. The action scenes are great. The themes and the direction that this movie was going for, I really do like. But my favorite, the best thing about this movie easily, besides Christian Bale and the great story, is Heath Ledger. The late Heath Ledger's performance as Joker. This is my favorite Joker. Even though I love Joaquin Phoenix and Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, his version of the Joker is a guy of simple taste. He just loves the chaos. He loves the anarchy. He loves the destruction. He loves the drama. So Heath Ledger, he does a great job in this role. I think he's fantastic. It's a shame he did not get to see his performance, but he did get the Oscar for his performance. You have great action here. You have the great chase with him in the tumbler, then the bat pod chasing Joker. You have the hospital explosion. You have so many quotable lines in this movie. The opening scene alone with the bank robbery, that had me on the edge of my seat when I first watched it. But My favorite scene still in this movie is the interrogation scene. Just the dialogue in that scene. You go, Joker is right. He has a point, and it's one of the only few times where you get to hear the villain talk about how he views the world.
Know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever. Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. Look at you go! Doing his little bully. Where are they? Killing is making a choice. Where are they? To be.
The thing about The Dark Knight is great. Sure, I may be overpraising it a bit, but I really don't care. This is my 49th favorite movie of all time. All 3 Dark Knight movies are great. And just the chemistry that Christian Bale and Heath Ledger had in this movie is awesome. Just as awesome as Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Just The Dark Knight. This is a masterpiece in my opinion. So that was my ranking of the Christopher Nolan movies. Tell me your ranking in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. You guys keep cool, enjoying the Epictasticness. I'll see you guys in the next one.